We got London on the track.
100 band, dropped on the head of any nigga wanted, man. Pop me as any, I'm fast, I'm so fast, I'm so faster than Sunny, man. True to man, true to my nigga, true religion, Buddha, man. My money stay tall as Ludacris, I throw and I swear I'ma shoot with it. I just hit for 9 birds, what I'ma do with that? Pull up on the curb, then you hop out and be through with that. I'm so fresh like this detergent, if you not fresh, you so through with that. If you are a nerd, everything, you not cool with it. Yes, you not cool. No, you not boo. I don't get no damn, I'm not calling you boo. My bitch, she a Jew. You can't prove a point, but you know you so doomed. You know you so doomed. I swear I'm so lost with no clue. Don't know what to do. Hey, over loud. I over loud on these niggas, ain't know how to milk these cows. She made that dick grow, now it be like a town. Yeah, but I can't feel up with me, no Bible. 100 band, dropped on the head of any nigga wanted, man. Pop me as any, I'm fast, I'm so faster than Sunny, man. True to man, true to my nigga, true religion, Buddha, man. My money stay tall as Ludacris, I throw and I swear I'ma shoot with it. I just hit for 9 birds, what I'ma do with it? Pull up on the curb, then you hop out and be through with it. I'm so fresh like this detergent, if you not fresh, you so through with it. If you are a nerd, everything, you not cool with it.
Pull up, hop out on the block, they tucking their tail like a Hooter clan. I'm dressed in all black, I'm always on the road just like a Uber man. We rapping and sending them packs, soon as they land, we moving them. Shame it on the OGs, they influence me. I ain't just make count money, nigga. I ain't just make money, nigga. I put a little stick on the Rari, she say that's delicious. Who that is in that crown, Vic, he looks suspicious. I just took the 100 pounds I made her.
100 band, dropped on the head of any nigga wanted, man. Pop me as any, I'm fast, I'm so faster than Sunny, man. True to man, true to my nigga, true religion, Buddha, man. My money stay tall as Ludacris, I throw and I swear I'ma shoot with it. I just hit for 9 birds, what I'ma do with it? Pull up on the curb, then you hop out and be through with it. I'm so fresh like this detergent, if you not fresh, you so through with it. If you are a nerd, everything, you not cool with it. Yeah, you not cool with it. No, you not cool with that. No, you not cool with that. Uh-oh. What's going on? As requested, I am back. Sorry, I know I said it for 30 minutes out, but I can't wait that long because I got some shit I got to do. So I need to go get ready in about an hour. I got about an hour and a half. So that's why I said let's just do it right away since it was requested, and I promised I would do it yesterday. But what's going on? How's everybody doing? Make sure you guys come on in, hit that like button. Hey, Mark, what happened to the original intro of your channel? Just wondering. What you mean the original intro? You talking about this? That's what you talking about? Or you talking about the music? You talking about this? Let's see. Where is it at? I thought about playing that, but like since this is kind of by request, short notice, I didn't plan on doing it. Oh shoot! I ain't played it in so long. Hold on. Oh, this? Talking about that? Let me know which one you talking about. No, it's still around. I just want to switch things up. Great Polar, what up? Ken, what up? Yeah, so boom. I know a lot of people got the notification for later, but I'm gonna get started early. I'm gonna put the link up too. Let's put the link up real quick. Yeah, so I kind of did this impromptu. We put that up there. Spent about an hour and a half. Then I need to go get ready. Pen. Yeah, so boom. Know the music intro before you start the show sounds like
the horn. No, the music intro before you start. Oh, I didn't do my disclaimer, but who cares? The music intro before you start the show. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, man. But what's going on? What's going on? So yeah, man. Yeah, man. 2 years. Thought I'd just do a live stream, telling all the subscribers thanks. Everybody that's been watching for 2 years. I appreciate the support. The people who don't support but watch anyway, I appreciate you too. If you come to the channel to hear me speak, listen to my experience, and maybe take that information and take it back to your business and apply it. I appreciate each individual. Um, I did this last year on the actual day. Didn't plan on really doing it, but just a quick recap of the second year. I think it was pretty good. Last year, channel continued to grow. We started experimenting um, with a more uh, I want to say a more aggressive approach to content. We added a more entertaining edge to it, a more aggressive, entertaining edge, which was kind of risky at first, and I knew some people would get rubbed the wrong way, which they did, and it was a specific demographic that I don't really need to speak on. People that have been around, you guys know what I'm talking about. It still rubs people the wrong way today. But I feel like, in comparison to the old way of doing the content, I think the new way is more effective. Ultimately, I want the information to hit the people that it needs to hit, and whatever it takes to get the people to consume and give the information a chance is what I'm willing to do. I think we experimented with different shows, formatting different shows. Some stuck around, some didn't. Some was for a season, some was for a couple seasons. Some tested an episode or two and never came back. Some worked, some didn't. I think that's the part of trying things, seeing what works versus what doesn't work, and continuing to grow. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. If I inspired you in any type of way, if you've taken some information in any type of way and you applied it to your business, you want to come up and speak, feel free. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. I think we started the year off last year experimenting with the accountability. I think we started, and I'll talk about it. I think probably the best show outside the call-in show. I think the call-in show and testimonials were two very, very good shows. And testimonials still around. It's just, I think we're at a point now where it's not going to be something like it was initially, a week show. It'll be something like how back in the day, you'll get Saturday night fights. Some WWF used to come on Saturday nights every once in a blue moon, and if you was up late at night, you could catch it. It's like one-off. So testimonials be a one-off every now and again. There's some people that promised me that they would do a testimonial that I still ain't caught up with, but I'm gonna catch up with y'all. Y'all gotta give me a testimonial. So I think that was a good show that I came up with, that which was very controversial. You know what I'm saying? Some people felt, it was kind of, what's the word? It was kind of highlighting the wrong stuff. But here's the thing: good stuff and bad stuff is educational. One person's mistake, all right, highlighted, can prevent a multitude of people from making that same mistake. And then when people are volunteering to come up and talk about the mistakes they've made, then it is what it is. I didn't put a pistol to anybody's head and told them to come up after the second episode. People know the direction that the show was going. Some people volunteered to come up because they needed that accountability. They said, yo, I need to be held accountable. I need to hear this, because if I don't, I'm going to continue to make the same mistakes, right? I think a big part of that was due to uh, me not really caring, I should say. You know, I don't want, here's the thing, when you're not pushing something onto a person, you can really give them the information that they really need to hear. It's hard to give a person information that they really need to hear if you know what they really need to hear, if you're trying to get them to buy into something, right? So I thought that was a good show, and not to say it's gone, but it'll be back, but more in a one-off format. What else? What else did we do? I want to talk about the wise men, but I want to say that to last. So we did the testimonials, call-in show that kind of started this year. What other show did we do? Uh, uh, the um, the Thursday night podcast. I think that was pretty good. I like that, but I didn't want to bring it back after one season. The first Tuesday night show I did, some of you guys probably weren't even around, but that kind of started in 2022, went into 2023, and I stopped it. That Mark the Mentor podcast Tuesday night. Reason I ended that last year is because I knew I was taking the channel in a different direction, and that way of presenting content was kind of on the old format. It was kind of boring, so I wanted to turn things up a little bit. Then the Wise Men, an idea that I had around March of last year, and if you were around March, I had an idea. It was the Three Wise Men at first. After a couple of episodes of running it, I saw the direction where the show could go, and I decided to drop down to 2. And I told Axel, said, listen, it ain't gonna work with 3 of us. I can see where the direction this is gonna go, and it's probably just wise if me and Kurt continue to go on. So I went to him, I broke that information to him, and we kept going. First season was good. I was kind of on the fence about it because I didn't feel like it picked up the way I thought it would. But then again, we were still learning, right? I've never, did a show with a co-host before, so certain topics, paying attention to the way that the information was being consumed and received, just playing off, learning how to play off of each other. It was a great learning experience, and then when we came back for the second season, it doubled. The viewership doubled, and it was just easier then. So that show, I think a lot of people learned a lot from that show. I think, like someone said, the banter between Kirk and myself was very entertaining, but yet educational to some people. We played off of each other really, really well. It was very much so unscripted. It was pretty much impromptu is the word that I want to use. It was pretty much impromptu as far as the dialogue back and forth between us. Obviously, the topics that we presented on the show were thought out and talked about prior to going in, but there was no rehearsing. Obviously, Kirk and myself are very experienced in the business, so when we come up with a topic, it's not something that we would have to go back and research and rehearse because we experienced. But the dialogue between us on the show was very, very impromptu. So those times where you see us get into it and debate, that was very impromptu. The whole Boys in the Hood, that was just off the fly. So that was just me being creative, just thinking of things off the fly, not worrying about, as I explained, not worrying about the the advertising and shit like that. I even said like, yo, this is gonna get striked, copyright strike, but whatever I gotta do to capture the moment, the content, that's what I did. Even if it resulted in a copyright strike, because I took that movie clip and it was more than 15 seconds, but that was the right moment, and it that particular episode um is still talked about today. So, I think that show and just creating a podcast in this very small niche space, even with other content creators, they say it was a great idea and a good show. I just think there was something that was needed at the time, uh, because the space was getting boring at that particular time. I mean, it's boring now, you know what I'm saying? But I saw the direction it was going, so I was trying to do my best and put my best foot forward as far as keeping the space alive and entertained, whether people liked it or didn't like it. All right. And Kirk, the same thing. You know what I'm saying? The time that he took when he was out on the road, I think he feels like his time went without um I think he thinks the time that he spent and invested into those Monday nights went without I don't think he thinks, and including myself, maybe valued the time, but I far from disagree. Obviously, the people speaking about the show still lets you know the value that people had, even me, you know what I'm saying? So, if I never said this to him before, and I know we got our issues, but I'm not like a hater. You know what I'm saying? I still refer people to Kirk, even though he don't refer people to me. He'll just tell them, go do Final Mile instead of say, go watch Mark Channel. At the end of the day, Kirk was a very contributing factor to uh, the Wise Men podcast. And for that, I'm greatly appreciative of the time that he spent on those Monday nights, and we would be on sometimes 4 or 5 hours, and he would have to still get up and do loads in the morning, but uh, we did what we needed to do for the betterment of the community, to keep the community going, and keep the community educated, also entertained. So that happened last year, second year. Uh, so yeah, I appreciate Kirk for that. You still got to run that nickel. I'm still gonna be on your head top, but I appreciate you for the Wise Men podcast. I ain't gonna never be um, no sucker. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I appreciate him for that. Uh, Other than that, what else did we do last year? What else did we do? Oh, he speaking on Kirk, he came to Chicago. We got some content out of that. What else? 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 Did we start the call-in show last year? No, I don't think we started the call-in show last year. But just good content, edgy content, raw content, and just giving people the information that they needed at no cost. I think we got somebody in the back. Who we got? Yo,
Yo, what up, Mark? What's going on, bro?
how you feeling?
Man, I'm doing fine, man. First of all, I want to wish you this happy YouTube anniversary. Um, I found you by accident, man. I don't know if I had told you this, but
Mm-mm.
when I saw your channel, I was on uh, I was on a box truck couple. I was on Big Vic channel. Actually, I was heavy on the Vic channel, but then here you is coming along. And then, I was with that other guy who was talking about, you can make $10,000 in a 16-foot box truck. So
Mm.
that's when you had came around. And, I was trying to make sure that some of these things are facts.
Mm-hmm.
But see, I didn't know nothing about Final Mile.
Mm.
I ain't know nothing about Final Mile. And, it was like a lot of confusion. So for me to reach you on this channel, it was a blessing because for you to like tell me the difference and then tell me some things that just didn't exist. I mean, some of the stuff that we needed from these other content creators, we can get it all from Google. We really didn't need to get it from them to begin with. I mean, unless we did deeper research. But at the time, I thought those folks were very high experience and they know their work. But then when they try to charge things left and right, and I was like, some of the money that they want me to do, especially with the mentorship, I was like, wait a minute, man, y'all want me to pay almost like what, $1,500 just a mentor, just in order to get work done and all that stuff. And the way you explain it, you can do it straight from hard work and get it from Google and a few other companies that I never heard of. You the one mentioned me about T-Force. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't know T-Force without you. I wouldn't know a lot of these companies without you, Mark, because of your contribution and what you did for me, let alone what you did lately. Man, I owe you a deep, deep gratitude, man. I mean, that's why I said, man, when we had that conversation about the black race, you know what I'm saying? We was heavy on that. You know what I'm saying? I'll never forget it. We had that deep dialogue, man, and it was one of the best moments of my life, man. Without you, I would have been sucker right now. I would have been paying a lot of money. I would have lost a lot of money, man, by trusting these guys, man. And if you wasn't around at the time, man, no telling what I would have been at right now, man. So I want to give you my flowers and I want to give you my sincere thanks, man, because your dialogue and your stories and how the way you put it down, you put it piece by piece, and you don't ask for much. You just simple, hit the like button, man. Hit the like button and get a lot from the knowledge that you bring. And your knowledge helped me a lot, man. And I would not be in this position right now if it wasn't for your knowledge and telling me how good I am. So that's why I wanted to come here and respect the man that you are. I mean, your mom raised a good king. If you don't know it, you're a king. You're a king of your own castle, man. And your mom did you good, man. Your OG did you good. The way you helped so many others, how you built your business, how you helped so many others that was down on their luck. You help them out, all of that, man. They owe you a gratitude, man. And I owe you big time, man. And I wouldn't even be in the position now. I mean, for you to come out of your heart, helping me and my wife out in the situation that we was in, and let the MGM games help me out as well. This would not have been possible. We wouldn't be in an apartment right now if it wasn't for you guys. If it wasn't for you, Mark, you the man, and you're from my home, man, and you really made life better for me. And knowing how to become that dog, man, and like I said, man, a lot of people don't teach me all these things. You did. So that's why I want to owe you my respect and gratitude. And I'm going to continue to support your channel, man. And I hopefully by next year, the channel gets 10 times bigger, man, because more people can learn a lot out of you with your business and your style, man. Some people want to do it the hard way, Hey, everybody got a right to do whatever they like. But the way you put it in the blueprint, it makes so much sense. So that's why I wanted to tell you, brother.
Man, I appreciate you, man. Anytime, man. When I do shit, I do it from the kindness of my heart. That's why you never heard me mention it again. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So it's from the kindness of my heart, and I support you because you support me. Like whenever I go live, you always one of the first people I see in the chat. So
Yeah.
so you just watching, it means a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? So I greatly appreciate it. I'm happy that I've been able to impact your life in a positive way.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you and your wife are in a better position now, and just keep moving forward. Keep that dog in you. Don't forget where you came from. I know a lot of people don't like when I say that because I'm heavy on that. But you know where you came from.
Man.
So hopefully when I told you that also gave you some motivation to keep striving. You know what I'm saying? So keep striving, keep pushing, keep that dog in you. and do whatever you got to do to continue to rise to the top.
Yeah, man. Like you said, man, I'm from the crib, man, and up in Chicago, man, we don't quit. We don't quit easy, man. You know what I'm saying? So throughout that grind, grit, and motivation, I mean, I'm already got something going on right now, but I'm just, man, Mark, you don't have no idea, man. The way the angels fly around here, man. You help so many guys out here, man, and making their lives better financially, mentally, and emotionally. You know what I'm saying? How you put in the game. You know what I'm saying? So, I wouldn't be this far without your channel. I think if I wasn't seeing on your channel, I would be in a bad position right now. So for you to do what you did for me and what you did for the MGM games, you made it comfortable. You know what I'm saying? You brought politics, you brought so many other circumstances. A lot of people really didn't have the balls to say it, but you did. And you brought it to the table, and everybody else came in and involved and spoke their piece. No violence. You know what I'm saying? No violence, no fights, and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? And you got great credibility. Your credibility counts on this channel. So that's what I wanted to say, man. But other than that, man, I'm quite sure a few others want to talk. So I'm gonna go ahead and ride out, man, and I'm gonna continue to listen to you, man. But Mark, hey, man, you already know how to reach me. You know how to get at me and all that, man. But it's almost like at the end, you're like a big brother to me. You're a big
Oh man,
Chicago brother to me.
come on, man, come on, man.
You are, man.
You
Shit,
you
hey, man,
overdoing it
listen
now,
here.
bro. You overdoing
No,
it
man,
now.
let me tell you something. You have put me in you held me accountable, bro. You held me accountable. You know what I'm saying? I needed that accountability. I needed that motivation. I needed someone to break me down and build me back up to make me a better person. That's what you did for me. You know what I'm saying? That's why I keep on striving on your channel, because every channel is like food on the table that I'm fed with great information. It ain't too many guys on YouTube doing that shit, man. You kidding me? Come on,
I
bro.
I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Shit.
I
All right,
appreciate you.
man.
I appreciate you, big dog. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Just
I don't know
keep
how
pushing. Keep pushing.
I will. I
All right.
will. And I'm gonna keep going. And there's no way to go but up, man. I'm gonna keep rolling till the wheels fall. I'm forever Chicago, man. And that's what I roll with, man. And you in Chicago too, man. Ain't nothing can stop it now, man. Y'all building me up. It's like I'm growing like a flower now, man. And I'm getting better better every single day. So I'm gonna go ahead and ride out and listen to everyone else, man. So I don't want to
All
hold you
right,
up,
bro.
man. I know you got some stuff to do. Take care,
All
bro.
right, man. All right, be safe. Be safe.
Yo, too. All right.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, Kelvin. Man, Kelvin, he one of the ones that really support. So, I'm gonna support him. I'm gonna support everybody. You know what I'm saying? I got a special place in my heart though for subscribers from the crib, man. You did what I'm saying, and I think it's been showed over the past 2 years. I just know how difficult it is. I mean, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Places like Chicago, New York, LA, places like that, you make it here, you can make it anywhere. But it's tough. It's tough. We got a different type of toughness about it. So, you know what I'm saying? So I got a special type of, I got a special place in my heart when it comes to people from the crib. So shout out to you, Kevin, man. Continue to strive, man, and everything gonna come in your favor. I appreciate you. But yeah, so the link pinned to the top of the chat. So yeah, we did the Wiseman. So yeah, so that was great. And then I just kept pushing forward, just kept last year just doing what I needed to do to continue to help people. And a lot of the times it was very challenging. There was a lot of times I'd get off a live stream, I'd be frustrated, even still today. like I'll be frustrated, especially on them call-in shows. Like listen, I'm up at 3:30, 4 o'clock every morning when I gotta do something to do it. Don't My body just wakes up at that time. All right. I like to wake up that early so I can start looking at the pre-market and shit like that. See what's going on in China and shit like that as far as the market is concerned. So I be up after I do some of them long live shows where I'm on for a long time because it's somebody I'm talking to for a long period of time. Like that should be so mentally draining to me that I sleep for 10, 11, 12 hours straight. You know what I'm saying? So that shit be draining, and I be that invested into helping people understanding, you know, what they're doing is wrong, or what they may be, the way they may be seeking to go about something is wrong, and trying to give them the right path so that they don't go down the wrong path and ultimately fall into the category that we've seen so many other people fall into in the past couple years, like the young lady from a few weeks ago. I think it's 24K. She still watches the channel. The young lady from a couple months ago with the crew down in Mississippi or whatever, and the young boys that I be talking to, and just the list goes on. So a lot of the energy that I be putting in trying to get people to understand this shit be mentally draining. But I continue to do it. I feel like it's my way. I say it all the time. Giving back. People be getting on me about certain things. I know Axe will be on me about monetizing and stuff. Like, why do you spend so much time? A few people be like, man, why do you spend so much time with these people, man? They not gonna get it. A lot of these people, the majority ain't gonna get it, man. Why do you spend so much time and it's not beneficial to you monetarily? And I feel like, man, I get my blessings in other formats. I don't know where they come from, but I know they come, and if they haven't come, they gonna come. I just feel like, man, like this is something I was called to do. You know what I'm saying? And I have people that are on the opposite coin. They say, man, you gotta keep going. I've had people say, man, no, you can't do it. I've had subscribers, when they don't see me do a live stream in 6 or 7 days. Yo, we need a live stream. Where you at? Where you at? Sometimes I'll be dipped away. Sometimes I dip away. I just don't say it. I'll take a quick trip to Texas or a quick trip to Vegas or whatever, and I just don't say nothing. And that's ultimately probably the reason why I haven't streamed. But subscribers to check in with, man, where you been at? You know what I'm saying? So that also lets me know that my presence is respected and that it's valued. So whenever I do have the time, I make sure that I don't miss. I know Thursday nights is my night, and even on some Thursday when I'll just be like, man, I don't feel like it today. At the 11th hour, I say I still just come on here and do it because that's the day I go, and people are expecting for me to go on, and I try to make Thursdays is my nights where you pay attention and you see the pattern. Thursday nights is the nights where there's no nonsense. I'm pulling out the whiteboard and we getting down and dirty. You know what I'm saying? So I try to make Thursday night real educational because, Friday is the call-in show. And then I may do some one-offs, in between that may not be as educational, maybe some tomfoolery, you know what I'm saying? But, it may be some education that comes with some of that tomfoolery as well. So I appreciate everybody for continuing to rock out with the kid. I'm just gonna continue to do what I've been doing, and helping people and just give them the information I feel like they need, or give them the information that I've acquired over my years of experience, and hopefully people can take that information, like I always say, put it in their back pocket and apply it and kind of help save them some money going through the learning curve. The learning curve, I always say, is very costly, but if you knew some things that you didn't have to encounter because you had someone there that has already encountered and paid the cost of learning that information to kind of guide you through or around those situations, it's very helpful. So that's why I am here. So I appreciate everybody. dearly, and I just wanted to come on and say thanks. Shout out to Pippi too. I know I told her the other day, but Pippi has been moderating. Before I added any other moderators, she won't take anything from me. I've offered her gift cards, Christmas gift cards. She won't take anything. So I know I don't get a chance to acknowledge her enough, but for maybe about a year and a half, she's been moderating. And I know nights I've kept her up late. She's done fell asleep moderating. You know, I know moderating a year and a half ago is different from moderating now. Moderating a year and a half ago was literally just having a blue wrench. You know what I'm saying? But as of the past maybe 12 months, like moderating has really been moderating. We have some days where we gotta turn up, you know, for the most part, you know, we'll drop the link and let people get their thoughts off. But, you know, with this new form of moderating with the trolls and the bots and shit like that, she's had to step up, which is why I added other moderators. Uh Great Polo, It's the Walk, and a few other moderators. So I appreciate it. Pippi, very much so for taking the time out. Anytime she see that notification go off and come in and help moderate the chat. I appreciate everybody that is always in the chat. When new people come in the chat and ask a lot of questions when I'm cooking up and not paying attention to the chat, that help other people out. In the chat, I always wanted it to be a community. That's why I kind of set it up as a community, because I want everybody to pitch in and help each other. Another reason why I continue to go live, because it's not just about me speaking. I see the side conversations in the chat. It's a community. There is no, I don't see any forums and whatever for box truck content out there. So if I can create a safe space where people can come and, you know, trade information and ideas to ultimately help each other to be successful, then that's more motivation when we continue to do what I'm doing. Axel says Mark busts out the tissue for some drama. No, no, Axel. It takes a lot for that, Axel. I ain't bust out no tears in a long time. No cap, you're a lifesaver and you're very knowledgeable. Much appreciate all the box truck game. Appreciate you, Ken. Appreciate you. Shout out to SD Walt. SEP Logistics, appreciate you. Chicago in the building. 606. C Simmons, no cap, Mark. You guys saying that's no cap. Appreciate you. PS4 games only. A lot of Chicago in the building. What up, Andrew Green? Shout out to all the MGMs. AJ335. What up? Interstate Screw. Shout out to everybody up in Detroit. Shout out to everybody in Cleveland, the whole Midwest. D Jenkins, I got a call from Freight yesterday to unload a box truck because the driver stated he couldn't unload the truck and refused to break down the pallet, Mark. So you wouldn't got that money, I'm assuming. That's just, I mean, what that guy, he wasn't getting paid to do it, which is why he refused to do it, or he just was lazy. Let me see. Yeah, link pin to the top of the chat. If you got something you want to come up and say, feel free. Link pin to the top of the chat. Kevin Burr says he appreciates all the MGMs, and yes, D Jenkins, I sincerely appreciate it, man. Without y'all, wouldn't be in this position. Shout out to you. Dang, you blocking people, Pippi? Somebody got a potty mouth in here? Hey, Axel, get out of here with that no Diddy shit, bro. We ain't on no Diddy. No Diddy, man. We ain't rocking like this. You in the wrong channel, Charlie. The wrong channel, Charlie. Shout out to Marie. What's going on? You must be talking to Axel, yeah, because Axel in here tweaking. Mark, do you talk about other businesses in your group or just stock and crypto? So talking about like different investments, let's say in stock and crypto, there is talk about businesses, because if you are investing into a stock, that's a business for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Even if you invest into like the S&P, that's a conglomerate of business, or let's say a particular ETF or individual stock. So yeah, so you know, when we do talk about these assets, we have to talk about the company, because we have to, you know, evaluate the company to come up with a reason why this particular asset may be worth investing your money into or not. Let's say, for instance, let's say Rivian. I invest into Rivian, right? So we talk about Rivian as far as their 5-year and their 10-year plan on why, well, particularly I think it's a good investment. So it goes deep into Amazon investing into them, right? Because the electric vehicles that you see with Amazon, those are powered by Rivian. I talk about the fact that they only have 2 cars on the market for retail consumers, which is the pickup truck and the SUV. So just understanding that once they build up their uh, um, fleet of different vehicle options, that's going to continue to make the stock go up, right? So talking about assets in stock and talking about assets in crypto, you have to talk about the companies, because there has to be a reason why. You have to evaluate the company to kind of substantiate a reason why this company may or may not be a good investment. Hey, actually, what you on, man? What's up with this Diddy shit you on, bro? You was tweaking, bro. We don't get down like that over here. What do you be on, bro? Hey, Pippi. Oh, she already got rid of. Oh, so I don't even see Axel. I'm seeing him on the back end. She done got rid of him in the front end. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Hey, Axel, you know we don't play them games. You know we don't play that over here. Pippi already done took care of you. I didn't know she got rid of the shit in the public. They can't even see it. I see it in the back. Good job, Pippi. Congrats on your accomplishment. Appreciate you, Craig. Hey, actually, you steady typing. Can't nobody see that shit. Let's see. Shout out G Baby from the Go. What up? A lot of Chicago people in the building. 24K, appreciate you. I hope you didn't take that little. Well, clearly you didn't, because you've been here ever since. I haven't seen you more since you popped up on the channel than before. But somebody DM me about you today. One of my longtime subscribers DM me about you today, actually, and he told me that if you were in the chat the next time, to tell you that nothing's wrong. He's in your area too. He said nothing's wrong with working a job. He has a son and a daughter that he invested in a box truck business for them. He's not in the box truck business. This is a older gentleman who watches the channel. He's probably watching now. Not going to say who he is, but he's an older gentleman that invested into a box truck business for his adult son and his adult daughter. He's from your area. He said that there's nothing wrong with a job. He said the way you're looking at this, entering into this business, is not the right way. So obviously he agrees with me. It's a lot of things that are entailed into this business, and based on what you were saying, your job is probably better. He said his daughter makes 6 figures a year in your market doing home health care, and she's a felon. So he told me to let you know all that, and if you are looking for a career change, maybe you should look into home health care in that market of Ohio that you're in, because it's a 6-figure thing in that market. I guess it's an opportunity that those companies are seeking applicants for. Maybe there's a shortage or whatever, but he says his daughter is doing it. I think his son does the box truck full time now, because I think she transitioned out of the box truck with the brother into the home health. She makes 6 figures. He says she's a felon. So if that's an opportunity that you may be interested in, he told me to let you know. And this is a subscriber that's based out of your area. So thought I'd let you know while you're here. Appreciate you. D Jenkins said I should call in real quick. I got paid $300 yesterday for it. He said it isn't his job to break down the path. Yeah, if you want to call in, you can call in. I got a little bit more time. I got about 30 more minutes. Said it only took you an hour and a half. Who shot J.R. Ewing? J.R. Ewing from Dallas? From Dallas? Wasn't his last name Ewing? It only took me an hour and a half. Boom. Is it DOT compliant to sleep in the crew cab? Now here's something that's been debated heavily. Heavily. Now I'm gonna tell you what I know. And this is in the FMCSA guidelines. You gotta have a sleeper berth. Point blank, period. You gotta have a sleeper berth. Do people do it? Yes. Do they get away with it? Yes. Do some people get caught? Yes. If they get caught, a person is looking at their logs and they say, where you sleep? And then they ask them for their hotel receipts. And if they don't produce them, will they shut you down? Probably. Yes. Do most people get away with it then get caught? Yes. So at the end of the day, the choice is up to you. But to go back to your question, is it DOT compliant to sleep in a crew cab? No. You got to have a sleeper berth. And it's in the FMCSA guidelines. It's just people just don't go to Google or go to the book. You know, the book is like $300. But if you're a trucker, you should have the book. I have the book. I paid $300 for it years ago. So, Johnson says he's tweaking. You don't see the chat. Hit the refresh. It's here. I'm looking at it. Appreciate your info, bro. You very nice. We'll have a question for you, bro. I'm in the appliance delivery for Final Mile. What is a good amount to pay your helpers? I believe pay people correctly. What market are you in? I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, I think a fair pay in today's time, I'm gonna be honest with you. And this may not, you know, I don't know what you're getting. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know what market you're in. I don't know what account you're running. But man, to be honest with you, Final Mile appliances, $200 to $300 for the driver. And I say $200 to $300. That's a scale based on the time that driver's been with you. Obviously, if you got a guy who's coming in on a new $200, if you got a guy that's been around, he's going to eventually want money. So you got to make sure your budget allots for raises, all right, throughout a span of time. Helper, somewhere between $150 and $225. Now, there's people out there, I've talked to people that's paying their people $150, $125, $135. To me, God bless them. I don't know how you getting people to come do any type of job for that low wages for all day, especially carrying all these heavy appliances. You know, when people working at McDonald's for more money than that, working less time, doing less labor. But honestly, I feel like that's what a person should be making in today's current time doing this work. Yeah, I think Pippi timed him out. That's why, Jonathan. She timed him out. Said he ain't been the same since he been in the woods, man. He tweaking. Oh, well, yeah, he must have said some shit that's Diddy. I heard YouTube blocking out all no Diddy shit. So you don't even have to time him out because I didn't do it. I'm reading it from the back end. So, yeah, Axel, anytime you just type shit that's like Diddy, that YouTube gonna block it. So it's no Diddy. No Diddy. Non-MGM members, please go to your YouTube settings and make sure the toggle's on to allow you to accept gifted memberships. Please do this now. Shout out to Costas. Costas been going crazy gifting people those memberships. Hopefully people, when they get those those gifted memberships, they watching the members only content. Because the members only content, it helps you diversify the money that you're making in your box truck. We talk about different options of investing and things of that nature. You don't have to do it, even if you just listening to the information to educate yourself, because eventually you want to diversify, but you don't understand the difference between different assets or different sectors of investing. Even if you're not prepared to do it right now, then it's good to, man, Costas, you gone crazy, bro. Costas is just gifting away. Appreciate you, Costas. Yeah, so it's good. Hopefully you guys are accepting that. Man, how many did you gift? Let's see. Great Post said you can get the book on Amazon. So Jonathan gifted 10 memberships. Shout out to everybody that's gifting the memberships. Listen, and see, this is you gotta understand, these MGMs that's gifting these memberships because it's more valuable to you. I don't need the super chats. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of value in those memberships. We talk about money. Those memberships is not, we talking about money. We've had people, listen, I've had a multitude of people that say, yo, I owe you a Rolex. I made so much money already. I'm going to give you a Rolex. We're talking about money, real money. You dig what I'm saying? So they're gifting you memberships, right? Because they understand the value that's in the members only content. And like I said, even if you don't want to invest or you're not prepared to invest, but you don't have any understanding, but eventually you're going to have to diversify your active income into passive income. We talk about different things, and you can pick up on information and then take that information back and go do the research on your own. I don't need super chats. That's why they're investing into you guys with the free membership so that you guys can get that value. And I appreciate Jonathan and I appreciate Costas for passing those blessings on to people so they can get that additional value that's offered in the members only live streams. I do members only live streams. Sometimes I might do one every day in the week, 4 or 5 times a week. You know what I'm saying? So, Bernard said Lowe's, Home Depot, 5K weekly. Well, shoot, what you averaging a day? Somewhere between $750 to $1,000. Listen, if you got a good driver, then you need to pay him handsomely because guess what? You need him to continue to come to work. So you need to motivate him to come to work. And the best way to motivate somebody to come to work is with a handsome paycheck. That way you ain't on the edge of the bed every single night hoping they show up for work. So the driver, he's got to be taken care of because guess what? He doesn't get a break. He's driving, then he's unloading, carrying, and then once you unload it into that place and install, he got to get right back on the truck and drive to the next stop. Whereas the passenger, if the in between stops is 15, 20, 30 minutes, he get to take a break. He can shut his ass, catch a nap, can go in his little lunch box and, eat his tuna sandwich, this, that, and the third. The driver don't get a break at all. So that driver is very, very important. You got to pay him handsomely. That's a lot of heavy lifting. If you're grossing 5K weekly, that means you're doing stops. So for 5-day-a-week contact, that means you averaging about a G a day. So you want to make sure you're paying your driver and your helper handsomely, so that you don't have to worry about them quitting. They have motivation to come to work because they're making decent money. You said you tell the DOT's officer you step outside and sweep, they can't tell me what I did. Hey, I never heard that one before. Costas gifted 50 memberships. Wow.
Sweet.
Wow. Hey, Costas. So that's 50 people that should get some value in those members only live streams. Right? So, man, I don't want to hear nobody say, man, why you don't do no live streams about? Listen, 50 people just got a free 30-day membership. So this episode gonna be sponsored by Costas and Jonathan. So I appreciate you, Costas, for gifting those people. Hopefully they can get some value out of those memberships. So Goat Logistics, I see he got one, the Review All Access, Nemo, Kelvin Birch. No, he didn't get one. Sean Bailey, Jameson, LL, Acta Finessa, Daily Dosage, Hyper Stang. A lot of these people I ain't never seen before. I'm trying to look for the ones I recognize. Smallholder Homestead, I've seen him. Miscellaneous Mill, Frank Garcia, I've seen. DJ, I've seen. Let me see. Who else? Who else? I think Mrs. G looks familiar. QUA looks familiar. Yours truly. I know yours truly. Then Jonathan Cohen gifted 10. E. Whitaker. Let me see. Dr. Glock. BB. Yeah, Costas went crazy. Yep. Damn, how I not have gifts allowed? You gotta activate the gifts. If you don't have them activated, it's not gonna allow you. You gotta go into the settings over where you see the super chat. It should be a plus sign or something, and when you go in there, I think it asks you to it asks you permission to accept gifts or not. But appreciate you again, Costas. Thank you very much. Axel is still here. I think YouTube timed him out. Pippi said she didn't do it. Pippi said she didn't do it. Anthony Caruso said someone got their crypto tips. Why did YouTube block Axel? What did he do? I didn't see him put any bad words. I seen him put some references that are not YouTube friendly. So 5-star say he thinks some trolls and bots got gifted memberships. Yeah, some of those people I just don't recognize. I haven't seen them, you know. Then again, you have a lot of people that subscribe that, you know, may not be active, or may watch but don't contribute in the chat section. Like I said, you have people that subscribe and just aren't even active. So yeah, Costas, you might want to slow down with a lot of those super chats. The replays, depending on the video, whatever the live stream was about, you know, some replays do bigger numbers than others. So there is still a large population that watches the content I see overnight and early morning the next day. But I think YouTube does gift the people first that have the gifts, you know, turned on where they can accept gifts, and the ones that are more active. I think the algorithm does check to see if a person has watched the video in a certain period of time, and they make sure those people get the gifts first. So yeah, I think the YouTube did something. Pippi said she didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. None of the other moderators did anything. So something he said, man. Something he said, and they tweaked out with him. I don't know what it is he said that they tweaked, but it was something. Maybe he said, let me see. Let me go up. He said NUT hugging. Maybe that was it. Maybe that was it. Costas.
What's up, man?
My Chi-Town brethren, how you doing?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you perfect, man. Appreciate all those membership.
Yeah.
Hopefully those people can get some value from them.
So, and you might understand this, but it's also selfish of me to do that because there's a lot of people here watching, and trust me, I want to get these people to come up or contribute in the chat or come up on the cam and sorry, I'm driving. Get info, and that's what I did, and I wanted to explain just quickly, my story, I know you know the brief background, but
Mhm.
it's, you know, back in the day, I had a, like I said, a while back, I had a restaurant for 15 years and did
Mhm.
extremely well.
Mhm.
Uh, and during the pandemic, I lost everything. And like when I mean everything, I lost everything. And I was living in a very expensive area in Chicago called Lincoln Park,
Mhm.
and it was crazy rent, and I was
Mhm.
kind of in a rut, and I was just in a really bad place. And I was trying
Mhm.
to figure out, started researching online because I knew I kind of wanted to get into this, and I was very lucky enough and blessed to come across your channel. And I saw a lot of channels. It wasn't just yours, a lot of channels. And I remember I said this when I first came on. Your
Mhm.
members and the people who contribute in the chat and
Mhm.
reach out and talk, they're smart. They know kind of like they're in this business or at least learning. Yes, they
Mhm.
got a lot of questions. So does everybody. So do I.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
there was a show where you said, you were talking about OTR and you said, you know, go move back with your parents, do whatever you got to do. Uh, and that was the push that I needed. I literally picked up 1 week later, I was back at my mom's house
Mhm.
living her, and I'm doing the OTR now, still figuring it out. But
Mhm.
the point of the story is like something that you might not think, Mark, that is significant. Those words to me got me to just get off my ass and do it, and that was huge for me because I was literally it was literally like 3 month rut, just not knowing what to do, just pissing away whatever little money I'd saved up at that point.
Mhm.
But very happy that I got to meet you guys and a lot of people in the chat.
Mhm.
Obviously, have not met people personally,
Mhm.
but I want to get all that information, you know, out there. Whatever I can help, you know,
Mhm.
I'd love to help. If there's, I want people to contribute so I could learn from them,
Mhm.
and I have questions like on my own. But first
Mhm.
off, number one, thank you. Congrats, 2 years. I do, you know, I do want to discuss one thing because I tried to bring it up last time, and I don't want to jump topics, but
Go
and
ahead.
maybe you can contribute.
Mhm.
The whole box truck thing. So I'm in a cargo van,
Mhm.
if you guys don't know, and I
Mhm.
do the OTR, and I'm learning, and it's actually working out okay right now. But so the box truck space is what I don't get,
Mhm.
and I came from a financial background, did the restaurant thing, so I'm trying to figure out, these box truck rates or straight trucks, OTR, you're still looking, and people in the chat, please, if anyone does OTR in a box truck or even final mile, the one exception is moving. I know moving
Mhm.
is the money, that's where it's at, but
Mhm.
I don't think any other option works for a box truck. And I want someone to tell me how they're doing it. Like the final mile, the 3PLs, bullshit. Excuse my language, but it doesn't work with the math. Like the expense of the truck, the fuel, where to park it, all that. And I think the only option would be to do moving. I don't see, the straight truck OTR. I try to reach out people in the chat. No one really kind of spoke up. And if anybody would, I would love to hear for someone to come on and tell me,
Okay.
because your insurance, your truck, where are you going to park it, all that kind of stuff. It all, and you're also regulated. So you got the
Mhm.
DDL in in the truck. But unless you're doing like final mile and stuff like that, I mean, you got to do some furniture moves here and there, but moving, yes, that's the top of the food chain. There's no
Right.
question about it. But where can someone who's not, I would be honest with you, the majority of people, Mark, and I've paid attention to the chat,
Mhm.
the majority of your followers, I don't think do moving. Everyone who is in the chat that does moving on your channel is actually, from what it seems like, very successful. So
Mhm.
that's what you're telling them is true. Yes, it is the money. Maybe some people just aren't cut out for that or don't want to do it. And I'm, not going to sugarcoat it. Some people just don't want to do the moving thing. So my question is, okay, on the OTR side of it, or with a 3PL or final mile,
Mhm.
how do you do it
Oh,
with a box truck? Is that even possible?
yes, it's
Like
possible
I'm
because
sure
I
it
did it.
is.
It's possible because I did. Now OTR. is a different ball game. I've never done an OTR. I know the lane. I know the margins. I know it all. I just don't talk on it. I refer people over to Kirk for that. You know, I still refer people over to Kirk uh, 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 for that. The margins are there. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. And I'm gonna be completely honest. Moving is where the money's at. I've been saying that since day one. Obviously, a lot of people are gonna run for moving because it's very labor intensive. They don't want to do it. Listen, you could have rented a box truck at the height of the pandemic, at the height of the rental rates, and that shit wouldn't even matter. You could pay 30, 40, 50 cents a mile now for a rental box truck and $1,000 a week for a rental box truck. But if you're doing moving, that's a drop in the bucket. You can cover that in one move and still make profit off that same move, right? Now, obviously, going OTR, it's not going to work, right? Because those prices are too exorbitant in comparison to what you're doing with that truck, right, to make money, right? So the reason why I think a lot of people aren't succeeding with a box truck or having a tough time excelling with a box truck that are doing OTR and final mile is, one, not just necessarily their expenses in the business, but their cost of living. All right. Where I can say I excelled is I started from humble beginnings. I worked my way up. I didn't just jump into no 26-foot box truck. I didn't just jump into a fleet of trucks. I started with my pickup truck, which is similar to doing gig work now, but it didn't exist. I was doing odd and end jobs off of Craigslist. I ran my money up. I saved. I rented one truck. I already had a clientele. I rented a second. I rented a third. I started buying trucks. I got licensed. I grew from there. But I was still at home. All right. I was still at home. So majority of that money got reinvested back into the business. I didn't have to pay myself a living expense. You see what I'm saying? I didn't have to pay myself a living expense. This is how I was able to scale aggressively. When a person is getting into an industry or a business like Final Mile, like OTR, I say it all the time. The margins are very, very small. And I don't think people really fully understand what I mean by very, very small. They're small, right? Because I see people go out and they buy these trucks that really the margins don't agree with, right? The trucks that I was buying 8 and 9-year-old trucks back then. I was paying cash for them. They was $7,900, $8,900. I know this was back then different than now, but even in 2012, 2013, $7,900 for something that's making you a couple $1,000s a day wasn't shit. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
So I didn't go out and buy the $30,000, $25,000 truck at that time that Enterprise was selling it for. What's equivalent to $40,000, $50,000 now was $25,000 then. I didn't do that, right? So I bought trucks that were inexpensive. I took a mechanic with me and we diagnosed the truck. Each time I went and bought a truck, we spent the day there and we test drove all the trucks that we had enough time to, and I made a decision by the grace of God. Everything worked out. I didn't have to pay myself money to pay rent. I didn't have to pay myself money for living expenses, right? I was working 7 days a week those first few years. 7 days, right? What happens is if you look at some of the testimonial videos, these people are making money. The ones who are successful, like I like to use Big Zoe. He followed my blueprint. He never booked a coaching session with me. He'll tell you, he said it on the thing. I just watched all your content. He came in last year. You don't see him as much now is because he took the information and ran with it. He's out working. He wasn't making the money in the cargo van doing, he was wanting to get a box truck, but he heard one of my videos about box truck dreams and cargo van monies. It hit him. You know what? I do got box truck dreams, but I really only got cargo van money. He went in the cargo van. He saw that the dedicated lane wasn't offering enough, right? And he started doing the moving. And he said, man, you're right. The moving money different, to the point where he almost neglected his day route with the thing. But here's the thing. I keep hearing the same thing. Where'd the money go? Man, I got to take care of family. So when you come in and you have a wife or family, a kid or two, and the cost of living, your rent, your phones, your car notes, this, that, and the third, that margin that's already small gets even smaller because you have to pay yourself a certain amount of money to live. And that's where the issue comes in at. A lot of people don't understand that when you're starting a business at the beginning, you may have to go X amount of time without paying yourself at all. That's why I like to use the Uber example, how they've been going since 2009 and they haven't been profitable, but they have enough VC money that they can go another 8 or 9 years, right? So the margins are there. It's just people aren't willing to delay their gratification, scale back, so that they can grow their business. You're really not going to be able to, this life that people want to live, you're not going to be able to live that type of life until you scale up, right?
So I just want to throw one thing in, and I don't mean to interrupt you, Mark. For the, when you're talking about, you might not have to pay yourself. I get that when you're on a shoestring budget, but the one thing that you can, and I know you preach it, is the fact is that come do whatever you can in the meantime, whether it's Uber Eats or DoorDash, get a little bit of money saved up first, because the one thing I'll disagree with you on a little bit is like, I like when people do budgets, a lot of times they're like, okay, let's cut this, or if they're in business, let's cut this, I learned that the hard way. All I did was try to cut. I woke up, and again, this is the restaurant industry, and said, well, instead of me trying to cut everything, let me go out there and try to make more money. Okay, so there's the budget side of it, and let's make more money. But when you say don't pay your staff, now, yeah, Uber is not profitable, but the CEO, all their employees, you better believe they're still making a paycheck no matter what. So they are paying their people. So when people do go out there and do create a budget, I do it differently based off my experience. I'm the first line item, no matter what. I get paid the first line item. It's not the way a lot of people do it, but it's like profit first kind of thing. And the only reason why I do that is because I don't want to say, okay, I have money in the business checking account. Let me go get something to eat. Let me do this. I start commingling. I go get in an accident. All of a sudden, someone's going to come and pierce the corporate veil and then go after all my stuff kind of thing. So no, like I try to keep it nice and tight based off, the business experience I had before. But I would recommend to people, when you do that budget, is have yourself a reasonable, small to start, payroll included in those numbers. Yes, if that doesn't work and you got to grind out from the start, then yes, don't pay yourself. But let's be realistic. No matter what, that money, they're not going to live their life with zero. They're going to have to eat. They're going to have to do this. Like whether they keep their job, which keep their day job and then save up to be able to sustain that business. Yes, but don't forget, to include that a part of, I can't express that enough, where you want to include yourself, the ultimate goal, obviously, to get paid. Profits are at the end later as a distribution, but you're a salaried employer. You should pay yourself something small just to get in the habit of doing that. But that's my little rant about that.
But see, here's the problem. In these sectors of box trucking, they can't keep their day job, especially if they're starting a business. If you're OTR, you're OTR. If you're going to do final mile and you're going to be on the truck and you got a helper, you got to be at that dock at 5:30, 6 o'clock for loadout, and your route is going to take all day. There is no day job. You see what I'm saying? Same thing with curbside. Same thing with moving. Moving, there is no time or no energy for a second. Moving, you're making money, though. So let's take moving out the equation. So with these other sectors, there really isn't that much. A lot of these guys that want to come in who don't understand the costs that are associated with running these businesses from the beginning, they want to just buy a box truck and then put people in it, right? They don't understand that if you're not in that first truck, you're really not making no money, right? You're really not making no money. Paying yourself, but here's the thing, Costas, even paying yourself a little bit, right, with the margins, right, coming into this industry with the exorbitant costs that a lot of these guys are having to deal with today, even still, is that enough to live? Me and you, we live in Chicago. We know the cost of living, right? A box truck guy is making $3,500 let's say $3,000 to $4,000 a week. After all expenses are paid, they're paying themselves $750 a week. Let's say on the good side, right? That's $3,000 a month. Could you live in Lincoln Park with $3,000 a month pay?
No, my rent would be $3,200. No.
Would I be able to continue to live downtown South Loop?
No.
Exactly.
No.
Okay. So if I were
but those numbers you threw out there, they don't even exist, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Which numbers?
So that was those box truck numbers. You're saying 3,000-4,000 net. The straight truck numbers for OTR,
gross.
I'm saying
those are
like
gross.
$1. Yes, gross.
Those are gross numbers.
And if
they
you get
exist,
that, because you're getting $1.50, that's what you're getting in a box truck right now.
Here's the thing: the guys that are getting, I've done polls on it. Hold on, I think I still got the last poll. Let me see if I can share it. All right, so I'm gonna put this on the screen. This is the last time I did a poll. I'm gonna share it. I keep this for a reason. I did a poll maybe a few months ago. Hold on. I know it's kind of small. Damn, is it a way I could blow it up? No. Nope. No, I can't blow it up. But this is the last poll I did. I wish there was a way I could blow it up, but hold on, let's see. There it is. All right, so the question was, what are you grossing weekly in your box truck? All right, 65 people voted. 2K to 3K, 32%. Less than 2K, 26%. 4 to 5K, 21%. 3K to 4K, 20%. This was out of 65 votes. So 32% said 2 to 3K. Less than 2K was 26%. 4 to 5K, 21. 3 to 4K, 20%. Okay, so boom. Great. So basically, obviously, a person making 2 to 3K gross. Oh, he's gone. Costas, you there?
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we just. Oh, I see why you're not on the camera. I see. Hold on, I gotta add you. I got you. My bad. I thought you were up there. All right.
No, you're good.
You're right. So even a person that's making less than 3 to 4K is not going to be able to sustain. So here's what happens: they rob from the sustainability of the business. And this is why the business ultimately fails, because the money that's coming in that really should be cash flow, they're taking it and they're using it to pay rent, pay mortgage, pay car note, pay kids tuition, this, that, and the third. This is why I say, in some situations coming in, if you're coming in and you're coming from, let's say, a corporate job that's placed you on a certain status, to the point where these things that I'm mentioning, for example, that you've acquired because you were able to attain these things from a job, but you want to leave your job to start this business, you may not be able to afford that way of living at the beginning of your business, because you're probably going to make less money. But a lot of people don't understand that, is what I'm saying. They don't understand that. So this is why your question was why you don't see how they're you don't understand. What was your question?
There's
you don't understand
why so unless you were doing moving, the box truck in any other category, I'm running the numbers. I'm just doing the numbers, okay? If you were to do it yourself,
yeah,
I don't see how it's sustainable. Just because of you. I mean, someone will say, yeah, I do this and that, but I'm not putting away for maintenance. I'm not doing this. The insurance is still sky high for those trucks. I don't care what the price is. It could be $10,000. You're still going to be paying probably $1,500 to $1,800 in insurance. Now that's a whole nother racket. But the truck note with today's rates, you're probably going to sit there and be paying 14, 15%. Unless you're coming in cash. But again, you say you don't have a note. A lot of people can't do that. But say you don't have a note, you still have, we'll call it $1,800 for the insurance, the fuel, where are you parking your truck? That like where all that stuff comes into play.
See, you're looking at it from us. We're in Chicago, right? But a lot of these guys, they live in middle America. They parking it right on the damn grass patch next to that.
Okay,
next to that house.
The parking. Okay, you're a new authority. How about this? You're a new authority. So this is where I tried to ask Kirk one time and he wasn't clear about it. And I think Kirk's really knowledgeable. He's got the right idea about the partials, right? And he's got a semi. He does it right. He won't take anything but partials because he knows with the rates today, one full load isn't going to do you anything. You're probably heading in all over the place and empty on the way back.
Mm-hmm.
With the partials, so if you're a new authority, I'm a new authority, I have a cargo van. I can't speak to brokers, barely. I've tried. You know, the only reason why I get into one, and I don't mean to offend anybody, is because, I spoke English and it wasn't broken and they looked me up or whatever. It doesn't matter. But he was a terrible broker. But the point is, you're a new MC, you're a new authority. You're not going to talk to people these days. You're not going to talk to Amazon. You're not going to talk to anybody for the first 6 months if you're doing it legit on your own and you actually want to build and grow this business. The box truck thing is the same thing. It's even worse. So 6 months, I think at the earliest you're going to get in. But here's the thing. Everyone says, oh, sign on with a carrier. Well, let me tell you this. Every carrier is going to have a contract. And then the contract, if people actually read it, because I read like the contract, you're not allowed to put other crap in that van. So what Kirk is doing with Amazon, yeah, he pays the guy here and there. I know it's a hustle, but you know, the hustle sometimes will bite you in the ass. And even with the moving thing, and I want to tell you, because it scares the crap out of me. Listen, like I'll tell you a crazy story, but it was like you're putting stuff, you're taking 2-3 loads, you're violating your contract when you do that if you're using a carrier authority. If you're going with Amazon, they don't allow other loads. Yeah, you pay the guy off, they don't put the seal on the truck. That's how he's popping loads in the back of the
Well,
vehicle.
that's with Relay. But see, what Kirk does is he's running loads to Amazon from
Okay.
Amazon web sellers. So if I'm selling ink pens and I'm a big time Amazon because I got volume, I'm ordering these ink pens from China by the container, and we got a warehouse. He's picking the ink pens up from my warehouse, and then he's running them to the Amazon fulfillment center where they're fulfilling it, they're selling it, and then they're charging me 30%. Now, running Amazon loads, no, I don't think they're going to allow you to parcel. But if you're running freight to Amazon, you're running someone else's freight to Amazon. He's running freight from shippers to Amazon for fulfillment. That's why he's getting away with it.
They're trying to put seals on his truck at Amazon. I don't know what he does, but I don't know the semi-space, and I don't want to speak on something I can't speak about. And I'm talking about just the box truck space. Relay does require a seal. So yes, you could pay the guy, and I get it. Like, do whatever you got to do to make things,
But
to make
I don't
money.
think he doesn't run Relay though. He runs mostly.
I don't know what he does, but like I've watched his lives in the morning when he actually does the load, and the guy's like, "Oh, here's the seal," and he'll talk about, "Hey, $20." He just said it like the other day, $20. Look what I get to do because I paid the guy $20. I don't have to put the seal, or he goes, I'll put the seal on for him.
Yeah,
So like Amazon's not dumb. Like Amazon has stuff even in their trailers that people don't know about. But the point is that if you're like, that's why for me, I always like when I first got into this and I started watching your channel, you were primarily the box truck channel until I ran across one of your videos, which was cargo van versus box truck. And you dropped a dime and you're like, if I were to go back, Marcos, I would do the cargo van.
Right.
And you're right. Like, yeah, get the high roof extended. Listen, I have a low roof and I still make it work, but it is, you can fit 3 pallets and you can sleep in here if you need to. That's
you understand why I said that though? You understand why I said that?
Now I did. Now when you first said it, I'm like, what's this guy talking about? More freight, more room. Now I'm like, it's the smartest thing ever. I'm like, even if I had the money, I still don't know because I still think the box truck would be a money pit. Only because I was like, yeah, the rates, it goes cargo vans, the bottom of the barrel. Then it goes the straight truck or 14, 16, 26, say you have the 26. Then it goes van, flatbed, reefer, you name it. But those rates, like you're talking, reefer, the most expensive thing to run, refrigerator reefer is at $2, $2.50 if you're on your own in the spot market. Straight trucks like $1.40, $1.50. So, but cargo van stuff, if you're in a good area like Chicago, then yes, you can get like $1, $1.10, and forget it. Like I was down in Florida, like people were making fun of me. He's like, "Oh, you took a load for 65 cents." I go, time out a second. I was in there, but that's why the spot, it drives me crazy. And I could be wrong and people will blow me up in your chat. But
Mm-hmm.
here's the thing about the rates. They're the spot rates. So
Mm-hmm.
if there's freight, there's drivers. There's an imbalance now, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
more drivers than
Mm-hmm.
freight. So what's going
Mm-hmm.
to happen? Those rates are going to drive down. That's what they
Yes.
are. They are what you
Yes.
can get. Not because
Yes.
somebody's taking a cheaper load. That means nothing to me. Like it's a
Well,
very,
me and you
people will
agree with
argue
that.
with me.
Me
I don't
too.
know if you agree with me or not, but I'm
No,
just saying, like,
I got
that's
content on this, and people, they don't understand. See, you've ran a multi-million-dollar restaurant, so you gotta understand. A lot of people don't understand business, supply and demand. You understand supply and demand.
don't get me wrong, when tomatoes went to like $60 a case, I was flipping out. But yes, the point is that that's what the market is. Like, yeah, people complain. Like, that's all I hear is complaining, complain. I was like, God damn, like, do you understand that like truckers and drivers are like, I think it's like the second or third largest, amount of people, like workforce in this country.
Mm-hmm.
All I hear is, yes, truckers get treated like shit. Like, don't get me wrong. I think you guys did the other show, which I think is a fantastic topic about the immigrant stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a shit. I don't. Go get it. Do whatever you have to do. I know if you could do a good product, and do a great job, you could do
Mm-hmm.
it. No one's taking your fucking job. Excuse my language, Mark, but that stuff pisses me off. You don't think someone's talking about like pissing and shitting at a rest stop? These are white dudes doing it. Also, it's everybody.
I agree.
But let me tell you another thing about that. Like, trucks don't have anywhere to fucking park. Their time runs out. They're parking along the ramps. The government doesn't give a shit, but I'm not going to go on a
Hey,
rant on that. This is,
hey,
I'm very observant at stuff. So
I.
I will tell you the rates are what they are right now. That's the
Mhm.
number you're working with. So lowball the shit. If you're starting in this business, lowball the crap of what you're going to make. Say you're going to make in a cargo van $1,500 max gross a week. Start off with that and see if that can make it work. And what I was going to suggest to you that I think would be a kind of a cool idea, but
Mhm.
that's just me. Your guests have all these questions, and there's a lot of bullshit going on too. But your guests, like how you do the whiteboard, have a calculator up with, I don't know, the 10 line items that would be in your cost per mile, because like
Mhm.
that's the thing that, oh, I just need the money and I can get 5 loads now and pay my bills. And you know what? You got to do what you got to do. But if you know your cost per mile, guys, like that is
But
huge.
but
That's
that's the
half the
thing.
battle, writing it down.
But that's the thing,
But
cause
if
is
you had a
every
calculator up when someone would come up,
I,
ask them, what's your car payment? What's your insurance? And then, and like have it on the screen so people could actually see. And so they
ca-
also understand that. But
in 2 years on YouTube, every single person that I've asked what's their cost per mile doesn't know it. If you watched the call-in show the other day, what's your cost per mile? You know your cost per mile? Yeah, I know it. What is it? It's like well, you don't know it because it ain't. It's like it's what is it? 151, 149. You know your cost per mile. No one knows their cost per mile, and then when I have to pull out all the stops, they have to admit, yeah, I don't know it. So you just run it, and that's another reason why a lot of people are failing because they're taking freight. They're paying to run the freight. They're paying to run the freight because they don't know what their
right.
cost per mile is. I've covered
And
cost
it's
per mile
actually,
so many
I'm a nerd,
times.
but I like the fact that like I know every mile I run, I'm running 2 cents on my tires. Easy. I could tell you for every little line item what per mile it goes. 2 cents on my tires, this and that, like 14 cents on maintenance. I could tell you what that is. And
Mhm.
don't drive yourself crazy, but you have that number. And remember, that fluctuates.
Mhm.
So if you could actually, I think that, so when we gifted the memberships today, you know,
Mhm.
I want to help because I also want to learn. I know there's people out there that like I know nothing about this industry. I'm just observing on what's going on. And
Right.
you're helping people, and I know you like to cook and do your thing, but you're helping people more than you know. And you got to stick with that. This bullshit with Kirk, I'll butt heads with you
Ah,
on this. You guys together are better than anything
listen,
else out there. You guys can
I'm
talk behind the scenes, not in the public. That's the way fucking grown men do it. You know that. I don't want to talk about that right now. The point is, I want to know from the people in there, anyone in the box truck space, how they maybe there's some secret I don't fucking know. But the other thing that pisses me off is that I want to help is that I'm seeing some of these fucking insurance rates that some people are paying, and I want to know why there's such a disparity, so big of a spread for those numbers, and it's fucking bullshit. And you know what? I'm saying this because in Illinois, I could try to do something about it. That's all I'm trying to say. But the fact is that if I told you what I was paying for full coverage, you know, people are like, "Oh, how do you pay so low?" I pay $700 for commercial insurance, $1,100,000,
Mhm.
and I'm seeing other people pay with 0 points in our MGMs, and some people have points, and if you got points and stuff like that, it is what it is. But then you stick with it a year, and then it doubles and this and that. But they're paying 0 points, 1,800, 2,000. I know it's very dependent on the state, but there's certain, even in other states, there's certain rules. Like shop around, do whatever you can. But like if you're paying $1,800 on your cargo van insurance for commercial, think
You-
about what
that-
a big line item that is. Like if you got that down to 1,000, 1,200, that $500 spread, $600 spread, that's money in your pocket or the business, you know, and insurance companies are the worst companies out there when it comes to them. They take advantage of people, and I don't want to say it, but like there's demographics that get charged more, and I see it day in and day out, and it fucking bothers me. I want to break
that's
some
true.
people's heads when it comes to that.
That's true, but a lot of the reason a lot of people paying a lot for insurance because they don't do the due diligence. They go to Progressive, they sit down, they do it themselves. They don't find a broker. I say it's more than just finding a broker. Find a broker that's willing to work with you. I had a guy who booked a coaching session with me. He got a van, 1,800, right? But because this guy booked a couple coaching sessions with me, and I don't do this for everybody, right? Because I'm not finna waste my time and my broker's time. I said, all right, 1,800 is kind of high. Let me see what my broker says. My broker cut it in half. And guess what? The quote that he got from whoever he was getting the broker with in Michigan was with Progressive. My broker got him the same shit with Progressive for half. He went from $1,800 to $898 with the same fucking insurance company. So you got
You've been with your broker for a while, right?
I've been with him since what, 2012? Right. But that's a broker that's willing to work with you. Yo, I need you to help. He's one of the subscribers.
Time out a second. Your broker makes money when he makes, writes a policy.
I get
correct?
that. You get that, right? But
I'm just gonna say, what's the issue with maybe a few at a time? Some people that have been MGMs, I don't know, passing it along because people are getting fucked. Like
because here's the thing. Here's the thing.
And I don't want to step on your toes. I'm just saying.
No, you're not stepping on my toes, but I have to I have to tread a thin line, right? I'm not gonna bombard my broker with a lot of people that are a waste of time. A lot of people will tell you one thing, but they're not serious. If someone comes to me and I see that they're consistently in my chat and they've been rocking with me, then I've already shown and proved that I'll go above and beyond for you. But some random bandom that's in my DM that say, yeah, I saw your content and I saw how you helped this guy go from $1,800 to $800. No, I'm not gonna fucking do it. I don't fucking know you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do it. If you come to me, yeah, I'll do it. I see Paul Smith in here. He's always in here. The Pippi, Jonathan. These are people, names that I recognize, whether we agree on some things or whether we disagree on some things, whether we agree or whether we disagree. The point is they're here and they're active. So whether we agree or disagree, even if we disagree on majority of the shit that I talk about, at least they show me enough respect that they're willing to come here and listen to what I have to say. Right? So I'm not going to, just because I got damn near almost 30,000 subscribers. Imagine if I did that for everybody, I would be bombarding him, and it'll be a waste of time for majority of the people.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm more of an idealist. I want to help people, but some of the shit I see just really bothers me. Like the simple things where, you have some great guests that come on and talk to you. They're talking about, do I go to the dealership? Do I go to this for financing? And I want to reach through the phone and say, don't just go and say I want to buy a truck. And yes, the research is the most important thing, but like, you should know when you go to a dealership, say, hey, I only want you to pull my credit once. Don't rock it 15 times. This whole bullshit about, yeah, if they run your credit, 10 times in a couple of days, it's considered as one hit. That's a
That's
bunch of
bullshit.
nonsense on this. It's fucking bullshit. Don't let
Me and you
anybody
know
tell you
that.
that.
Me and you know that, but me
Yes,
and you
they're
have
all individually inquiries. Don't
right.
let somebody tell you, oh, the FICO score. Well, you know what? There's 56 different FICO scores.
Mm-hmm,
The ones you see aren't even FICO. They're Credit Karma bullshit. They're Vantage scores, which
mm-hmm,
some people use, some people don't.
right.
FICO 9. I'm telling you, everybody, there's 56 different FICO scores. The one you get, it's never that right number. There's an auto score, bank score, credit score, mortgage score. There's all different scores. But if you're looking to buy, and this is why I say the easiest entry into this market would be a cargo van. Cargo van prices are going down. They will go. They're even being discounted now. They won't stay discounted for long because I think people will snatch up cargo vans. The thing is that you could go to a regular Ford dealership, you could go to a Ram dealership and get financing like a vehicle. Now,
Mm-hmm,
mind you, I don't know, I'm going to be blunt with you. I don't know like the credit scores of all the people in this industry.
mm-hmm,
And if you're less than 700, and even in today's day, if you're 720, 740, you're still dealing with new vehicle 8-9%. Used, you're at 15 to 18%. That's a
mm-hmm,
credit card, and if it's for your business, I kind of look away for that number, because if you could rock the numbers, then it costs money to do business. But the information that you pass along to people, it's almost like I want to reach out to these guests, bring them back on and say, hey, how you doing? Like, did that work?
mm-hmm,
Or are they actually really want to do it? And like, I
mm-hmm,
just don't want people to get demolished when they go out there and moving. Yes, it's the top money thing, but like, look where you started, Mark, with moving. You you put your boots on, you went out there, you did it yourself on your own, no ICC, all that kind of stuff. And there
mm-hmm,
was a risk. There's an inherent risk when you're
mm-hmm,
going into this business. What's it's a it's different now. I'm saying movies really, like, there's people moving everywhere, college dorms, this and that.
mm-hmm,
Do whatever you have to do to get to that point. But if I will say this, on a risk on the other side of it for moving, if you're getting into a box truck, multiple vehicles for moving, I am more of the guy who says, build up to that point first,
mm-hmm.
one or two trucks, get your ICC. And no one ever mentions it on other channels in the chat, but the most expensive insurance is workers' comp. It scares the crap out of me. Like,
I
I don't
said
want
it the
someone
other
to come
day.
back, and and people don't understand how expensive workers' comp has gotten, and it's a barrier to entry, unfortunately, in moving. So
Mm-hmm.
start off on a smaller scale. Where there was a guy chatting, I think yesterday, um, seems like he's doing very well. I think he said like he made like $15,000 in a week
Yeah, you're
moving.
talking about yeah, he has a moving channel. Yeah, he's licensed over in
And he was listing
Colorado.
off the like stuff he was doing, and it's spot on, like the college
Mm-hmm,
areas, this and that, like start here.
mm-hmm,
And even the other guys, like, you have so many people, Mark, and I'm going to tell you what, like, I see from, you have a lot of people who are like dying to get into any of this industry, whether it's OTR. But I will tell you this, 90% of them don't want to do moving. That, just from what I'm seeing in the chat, there's a lot of like, people that don't say anything. And
mm-hmm.
that's why I'm doing the memberships, to give them, don't be afraid to come out here, guys. Like, just get up on here and ask your questions. And there's, he's only going to help. Mark's only going to help you guys. So my point is that, long story short, there's different barriers and entries to come in, but your clientele is always asked, like, how do I get in this business? And the first thing is, and you know this, you need some kind of money. Like you just do. You need some kind of money. So you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Are you there?
Yep, we hear
Okay.
you.
Is you need some kind of money just to be able to, because if you're starting with zero, it's extremely difficult. And like, just do the little odds and ends. And I'll tell you one last thing, and then you can take it away. But I literally, when I was driving to Iowa, I just came back from Arkansas today.
Mhm.
There, you know, I got a notification. So the way I made that extra money, because you were right, I was in the red, you know, running it and going through it. And I was like, I wrote this all fucking down. What the hell's going on? You know, it's like the little things, like the washer fluids, all this, like you just don't think about it. It all adds up. And I started doing Uber Eats.
Mhm.
So just to make like whatever money, I get a notification. I got kicked off because I didn't know that you have to be in your market. I don't know if it was a new thing. I was all bummed out, but you know,
Mhm.
like you make like an extra 80, $120 doing that. But
Mhm.
I'm trying to build up that thing, and it was but anyway, things are better now. But like that's what, like, I just want you know, those barriers to entry. I want to know if anyone is in that box truck space. You know, you're a new MC. How you doing that? These things are expensive. Where are you putting them? Like, do they allow you to put other cargo in there? Because I haven't seen it, Mark. I'm telling you, I haven't seen anyone, any other. If you're on a carrier,
Mhm.
nobody allows other cargo to go in there unless it's their own. You know, even if you have
Mhm.
your own NMC and you're working for doing something the shipper might not want you to do, but people do it, and I
Mhm.
get it. Like it is, but anyway, that's what just I'm observing. I want to rant a little bit, and I want
Nah.
people in the chat who are in the space to know, you know, to be able to kind of maybe come up here, and I'd love to get their thoughts on it, just because, you know, these, you can't do like, you know, stop after stop after stop with the box truck, you know, all these kind of like little package stuff. Then get a cargo van. What's the point of having the you know, the box truck? Because to me it doesn't make any sense. And I did want to get into that.
Mhm.
You know, the moving thing, yeah, just be careful with workers comp. The last thing you want to do, and to your audience, and I don't want to scare anybody, but like, man, if anybody ever got injured, it's a life game over kind of thing, because you know, you don't want to deal with that.
I've had injury. I've talked about. I think I did a story time about my lawsuit. Um, it it it
I didn't know about your
it
lawsuit.
yeah, I did a story time about it. I've talked about it. I've talked about it a few different times and just but I think I did an actual live stream where I just did a story time and I talked about it, and then I talked about another time where a guy we were team was carrying a radiator down a flight of stairs, and the stairs gave, and the guy fell through the stairs with the radiator. So,
Jesus.
I mean, obviously, over all the years, you've had guys twist their ankles, fall off trucks. I fell off a truck 2 or 3 times. It happens, but those two situations were some of the most serious. So I mean, I've been sued. So yeah, moving is very. But see, that goes to like what I say. The risk, the reward in that situation is worth the risk. There's a high risk in that business. That's why it's a premium service, and the reward is very, very high. Uh, but yeah, that
And I
barrier
think
to
moving
entry.
can sustain that expense. I really do. I think it's so above and over the top. You know, I looked at some moving rates and I was like, man, Mark wasn't kidding. Like, this is crazy. Like,
It definitely can sustain. But just to touch on what you said, as far as the workers' comp, like when you go and fully get licensed, you got to make sure you got the capital to withstand the cost of entry once you get licensed. So yeah,
right.
I was running under the table the first couple of years, but this is why I had the cost of entry that when the ICC popped my behind no diddy, you know what I'm saying? I had to go get licensed, but most moving companies start the same way. 2 men in the truck, they started the same way. It's very rare that a moving company starts um, straight out the gate, fully licensed, because the
Right.
cost of getting started is just astronomical. But yes, the cost, with what you're making, I mean, right now cost is you and here in this market it's $100 an hour a man. An average move here is 3 guys.
In
So
Chicago, I looked at
yes.
it today. It was 175.
What were you looking at?
175.
What were you
I was
looking
just
at?
I was looking like Lincoln Park,
Oh,
Lakeview.
what were you looking? Where'd you look for the prices? What website or what company?
You just like type in moving companies.
All
There's
right,
like First
call
Class Moving and Storage.
call
There's
call
like
call 2 men in the truck tomorrow and let me know what they quote you.
okay. I saw that. I was like, dude, it's a 1 bedroom, and the quote was $4,100. I was like, what?
Yeah, I'm
And now it
telling you,
is on the
moving is
fourth
the way to go.
floor, no elevator. Yeah.
Well, there you go. But here's the thing: a 1 bedroom, $4,100. That's one day, and that's a few hours of work. So here's the thing:
Oh, 3
people want
hours
to
max.
right. So
Max.
if people want to run across the country all week to make less, then to me, I'm not the person to judge. I'll give you the information that you need to be successful. But I've been very transparent. I remember when I first started the channel, other content creators were making fun of me. Oh, I want to carry our shit up flight of stairs. Amazon Relay is the way to go. But whole time, I'm going back digging up the early books prior to me getting licensed, showing you, look, I've been getting money for a long time. You want to make $4,000 in a couple hours? You can make $4,000 in a couple hours, or you can work a week and a half to make it. Your choice. All right. Here's a little bit of hard work, or less hard work and more time. The decision is up to you. So I let people.
It's
I
very,
don't. I don't.
very different. I'm just telling you, no one's ever going to look at the eyes you do. No one's ever going to look at the eyes I do. That's just like a business owner or how they do it.
Mhm.
From what I read in your chat, 90% of the people in there aren't looking to do the moving thing. Each to their own. I could be wrong, but from the people at least who are commenting, I'll reach out and ask. I'm just like, I'm curious to know what
No,
they're
you're
doing.
right. They don't want to do it.
I won't
some have
say it like
transitioned
that.
into it. No, they don't want to
Listen,
do it.
so my barrier to entry is when I had my restaurant, I had 84 employees all at once.
Mhm.
Any given night, 84 on. It is a racket to manage that many people. So why, if you want to start your own, some people are like that. You even told me it's therapeutic for me now, but yeah,
Mhm.
I don't mind it. It is what it is. And I, like to drive. I hate using that term, but you know, it works for me. Moving's not
Mhm.
going to work for a lot of people. What I do might not, but most people, it's the least barrier to entry. You get the van, you're in the seat, one person. And I'm agreeing with you on moving too, because the moving, I would say, get if you want to do moving, get your butt doing it with a friend of yours or someone you know and trust. And then do that under the table first, because the barrier to entry is extremely expensive.
Mhm.
And then you hop on and you start getting your ICC and you run, slap on the wrist, ICC, whatever. Fuck them. It is what it is. But the
Hey,
workers' comp
that's
is the
a
scariest
racket.
thing.
ICC is a
It's a
racket,
it's a
man.
it's a tax grab revenue. Every state started doing it. That's why you see the trucks, ICC, KYU, all these stuff, apportion plates. Come on, like it's all tax and revenue. Like the one thing I'm not saying this to scare people, but I'm actually going to tell you this to scare people. And this is how insurance company works. And it almost destroyed me. But of course, being in a large restaurant space, shit happens. Two couples walked in my restaurant. This was 2017. Young couples, good looking people, blah, blah, blah. Two couples walk up to the bar. The one husband from the one couple goes to the bathroom. The other husband goes to the bathroom. The two girls are just sitting there by themselves. They don't know each other at the bar, have one glass of wine, one had a cocktail. The one girl looks over to the other girl. She's like, "Were you looking at my boyfriend?" She's like, what are you talking about? She's like, "I think you were looking at my boyfriend." She's like, she probably said something smart, turns around, takes the cocktail glass, whips it at her face. slices her lip right here. Ambulance come, this and that. It's craziest thing ever. Something so stupid. These people go to the hospital. She's got like 15 stitches in her face here and there. 3 weeks later, I'm bombarded with 4 attorneys. Okay. Well, no, your insurance, dram shop, use insurance policy that covers liquor liabilities. It doesn't matter. They even went after the workers' comp. Like it was crazy. It was, long story short, they sued me, nobody else, not themselves, the insurance companies, who has the money, and they went right to me. I couldn't even fight this, right? I was like, I don't want this to go on and on and on. The insurance company paid the girl $300,000 from my insurance.
Whoa.
She had 1 glass of wine and the other had a
Whoa.
cocktail.
Did, but
That's what
but
ended up happening.
but hold on, because I know when I got sued, Mercury said, "Mark, should we pay him or do you want to fight this?" Did they ask you? Did they ask you what you wanted to do?
I don't
They
recall
asked
them
you.
ever asking me. Maybe they did. I don't know. But
Because I said
like to
fight
me,
it.
I was like, I won. And what ended up happening?
We won.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't have time for. I don't know. I was gonna do that. I
You don't
just
have
like, all right,
time.
just it's always ends up in settlement somehow, But that's what it was. 275. I'm sorry, 275. She ended up getting paid or whatever. They didn't even go after, uh, each other or anything like that. And first of all, I'm like, was I scammed or something like that? I'm like, I don't know. But no, she was messed up in the face. Like she had plastic surgery and all that kind of thing.
But what was the
But
reason, and what was the reason why they sued you? No security,
so
lack of security, some shit like that?
negligence. It's all negligence. It's all negligence, saying that you could have been preventable. The crazy part about it is, like, we looked and you roll camera. They only had half a drink. It literally was. After the thing was settled, we find out later on from like it was in Wrigleyville. I was trying to think of the name. Wrigleyville.
Mhm,
The one lady, the one girl who ended up throwing the glass had
mhm,
like 7 or 8 cocktails. The insurance
mhm,
company went after, they found that out, they went after them, tried to mitigate my losses, meaning they tried to reduce the settlement that my insurance company paid. It went nowhere. It went nowhere and it was done. Like, but that, not to scare anybody, but the insurance company's like, that's, if you were doing a moving company and you had 4 employees and you weren't paying workers' comp, someone falls down the stairs, God forbid, you know, medical bills are like, it's crazy. Like, that's why I say if you want to get into that business and it's the top tier, like Mark's saying, just you yourself, a friend, someone you know and trust, build it up, do what you can, because no one ever talks about health insurance, workers' comp. Anybody who comes on your channel, it's never a line item on their bill. It's like, oh, I'll add that later. And it just, takes one. Like, if you guys want freedom, that is the ability to have some peace of mind. But you got to work to get that peace of mind. And that means the freedom means the ability to do what you want, when you want, where you want, with whomever you want, at any time you want. So that's freedom. And I think, Mark, you have that. And I think
mhm.
you have this energy at night. I see you working out and doing all that kind of stuff. You have this energy. And I was like, how the hell do, like, 9:30 comes around, I'm like gonna pass out. But like I need to get back in shape. I see you working out. Like, you don't look like you're 44. You look like you're, I'd say 26, 27, like young.
Appreciate
And
it.
you, I'm not trying to, like,
No, no,
blow up
I
your head,
appreciate
but
you.
I'm relaying facts to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm your age
Mhm,
and you look 20 years younger than me. So, but I think you have gotten to the point where you're comfortable and you have that, and everyone else should kind of aspire to get to that point, whatever that point looks like for other people.
mhm.
Um, but back to this whole thing, number one, congrats 2 years.
Appreciate you.
I want to know about the box truck, how people are doing it. So if anyone
I
wants to jump on, I need to know. If you're doing OTR, not moving, OTR, final mile, please help me understand how that works, because you're getting $1.50, at least on OTR numbers, insurance, fuel, all that kind of stuff. It's not making much sense to me. So Hey, I know I always ask you to go on, but thank you.
Nah, man, so I appreciate you coming up, man. I try to open up the
Yeah,
platform for people to come up, but I
and
appreciate you
I'll
coming
be
up.
on again eventually, and hopefully I'll be a testimonial for you. So
I hope so. I hope a positive testimonial. I want you
yes,
operating in the black, not in the red.
I,
So,
I'm getting there. So
but
all
I
right, thank you
appreciate
so
you,
much,
man.
man. Yeah, of course, my
No
pleasure.
problem. No problem.
All right, bye bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Costas. All right. So nobody else, right? I'm assuming, because I'm pretty sure someone would have beeped in by now. If so, I'll take one more person. I really gotta go. The Migos only asked for lunch, no insurance. A lot of the Migos, you might be talking about. If I'm thinking you talking about what I'm thinking you talking about, they running under the table. I'd rather do cargo van than box truck. Uh, I'm a box truck owner operator. Come on your live, share my knowledge. I got 10 minutes if you want to jump on. I could do 10, 15 minutes at the most. And then I got to go. Uh, I do 10, 15 minutes at the most. First come, first serve, and then I'm out. Um, so, but no, I appreciate Costas coming up. Always a great conversation when he comes up. Um, what was his name? Jacob. If you're going to come up, now is the time. Or whoever else that wanted to come up. Whoever comes first. I got 15 minutes for you. I have 20K. Should I go all in on buying a box truck and do local and some OTR? I have 20K. Should I go all in on buying a box truck and do local and some OTR? I have DOTMC. So I'm gonna answer that question the same way I answer it anytime anybody else asks me. I can't really decide which sector for you to go in. That's something you got to figure out on your own. And a good way to help you figure out what is more beneficial for you is doing a business plan and then doing a market analysis. All right. If you want to do local, you may be in a market that local just won't work for you no matter what you do. You may be in a very, very small market. So there may not be even be opportunity for local work. So your only option might only be OTR. So you have to really understand your market. I don't know where you're at. So it's kind of hard for me to kind of give you an answer for that. Mark, I appreciate you. As many have said, because of you, I started from humble beginnings, took over a payroll route for a county out in New Jersey and moved up to a cargo van, now projected to make 62K after. Man, congratulations, man. Congratulations. I'm glad the information I provided helped take you to the next level. Is a box truck route a good way? I'm in Cali. A box truck route, like local? Yeah. If you find a route that pays well and you're making money and you're profiting from it, yeah. You're Cali. That's a big state. I don't know what market of Cali you're in, but Cali, you're in San Francisco. That's a good market. LA, obviously, that's a good market. So if you can find some local work that pays exceptionally well, let's say curbside final mile, then I say go for it. Even if you're doing big and bulky, if you can find a good paying route that pays pretty good and you're going to be profitable from it, and go for it. But if you're asking me to help you decide between OTR and uh, local, that like ultimately that is something that you have to decide, because one of the main decision makers on which one is your lifestyle. Like, you got a family? Do you got kids? Do you think if you go out on the road, you're gonna be able to stay out over the road? Or do you think you're gonna eventually have to come home? Is local better for you because you may be needed at home? Are you in a market that, the local, you may have opportunity because you're in a big market that local may be more profitable for you than going over the road? Or are you in a market where you're in the middle of nowhere and there's no opportunity for local, which means you're forced to go OTR? So you got to really do a market analysis and see what works better for you. As someone who's been in construction for 3 years, I'm ready to go OTR for a little bit. See, it's a person who knows exactly what they want. So you got to know what you want and the reason why you want it. Some people just want to get out and get over the road. Some people feel like, yo, I ain't got nothing holding me back. I'm going to go over the road for a year. I'm going to delay gratification. I've had people say, you know what? Once my lease is up, I'm going to put all my shit in storage and I'm going to go over the road for a year and I'm going to live in a truck and I'm going to run it up and then I'm going to come back and try to find something local. So it all depends on you. Expenses, hope everyone takes your advice because it does help. Appreciate it. Hope so too. Jonathan, I think I'm in your same situation. Oh, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so all right, so I think what's his name? I don't think Jacob is here anymore because if he was, he probably would have hit the link. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. So you got a 10-year plan. That's what's up. I could do OTR every other week. See, now I don't know if that's going to be beneficial because one, you're in Cali. You're in Cali. So how far are you going to go out that you're going to have to turn around and come back because you have to go out and be back within a week's time? Like I don't know. That's something that you're going to have to really, 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 really research, Local for others, see, that's the thing. Most local routes are dedicated. If you get a curbside route, that's a dedicated route. So that won't allow you to jump every other week. If they give you that route, then that's either a Monday through Friday or Monday through Saturday, let's say route. Some routes are 7 days a week, but it's dedicated. It won't allow you for you to do the route 1 week and then skip the next week and then come back. It's dedicated. Same thing with big and bulky. It's dedicated. So those local routes, for the most part, are dedicated. You know what I'm saying? If you're looking for something guaranteed, those routes are dedicated. I think you should pick one and stick with it. Either you're going to be local or you're going to be over the road, Tony. I should have known you were from LA because you got Lakers for life in your thing, and your name. I don't know how I missed that. I would do local with the cargo van. It's working for me and I'm able to work my job. See, that's why some people are still working and the cargo van allows them to, do gig work and, do intermittent work with their cargo van as an additional stream of income from their career. So not too many options like that with a box truck. There may be some, but the cost associated with owning and operating a box truck, you kind of want that thing working 6 days, 7 days a week if possible, depending on what lane you're in. 5 to 7 days a week, depending on what lane you're in, be it if you're over the road versus local. No, you meant the box truck way. I know. If you're gonna do a box truck, if you're gonna do local, you can't jump from 1 week to 1 week on, 1 week off. Most local work is dedicated. Dispatch is really worth it. I think that's a good debate. A lot of people say yes, right? Some people say no. Some people say yes because coming in initially, you may need a dispatcher that has relationships to get you loads because a lot of brokers may not deal with you, right? And then some people say no. Yo, if you got one box truck, what you need a dispatcher for? So I think that situation depends on each individual basis. Some people are pro dispatcher, some people are con dispatcher. And it may work for you if you're getting the door slammed in your face the first, let's say, 90 days. But you can get a dispatcher, give them a little 10% that has relationships, and they can keep your truck rolling if you choose the right one. Some people say, yo, I got one truck. What I'm paying 10%. The margins are already small enough. That 10% can keep that in my pocket. All right. So I've analyzed the market on some low boards and have good loads going to Texas and back. All right. Go for it. Go for it. But here's the thing: are those one pick, one drop? Because now you come into the conversation, you saying it's good, but is it really good? Do you understand what's good versus what's not good? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people come into this industry looking at the low board and they think certain things are good to only find out it's really not good because they don't know what's good and what's not good because they don't really understand the board, the market, or the rates, or even understand what their cost per mile is to begin with in the first place. So if you watch some of my call-in shows and some of my testimonials, what I just said proves that. D. Jenkins said he dispatched himself. He want all the bread. I hear you. What would my cost be to start off with, in your opinion? It all depends on what you're doing. You coming in with a 26-foot box truck on the new, and this is debatable. Some people saying they could do it for less. Some people they said they could do it for more. But if you coming in, me on the lowest of the low end, I say $20. All right. I mean, you can come in on the high end, sky's the limit. But I think on the low end right now, you're gonna need about 20 to 30,000. Oh, you talking about partial loads? Okay, if you can run partial loads, because you said you can only be out a week at a time, you can run partials from California to Texas and turn around and come back and run partials back, because going to Texas loaded, you got to come back loaded too. Coming back empty, that defeats the purpose, right? So if you think you can run loads in a week, because you say you can only go out for a week at a time, every other week. So if you think you can run partials, whether you're stopping, picking up different partials along the way, running from California to Texas, and then turning around, dropping those partials off, and then picking up partials coming back in a 7-day time frame, from California to Texas and Texas back within 7 days doing partials, then go for it. Go for it. I would love to deal with directly. Okay. You can create your own local route depending on your market, getting work from the load boards, broker relationships, Amazon apps, especially the broker load board pays higher and less competition. There's a DJ Alex has some information for you, Tony. Heavy Goodman says the paper goes quick. D. Jenkins said he knows 2 places right now that if they have vans, you can get them for no money down. Everybody sure just kicking my ass. Cool, thanks, Mike. It's all good. Yeah, Costas, you can find some. Yeah. Yep. All right. Good live stream. I appreciate Costas for coming up. I appreciate Kelvin for coming up. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Once again, shout out to the moderators for holding me down the past couple years. Shout out to everybody that's been rocking with the kid. Any books you recommend for improving the mindset? The same ones that I always recommend. I'll go get them for you, man. Let me go to the library real quick. Let me go get them. Ah. All right, so boom. First book, obviously something that everybody talks about. Um, it's a must read. Rich Dad Poor Dad. All right. Obviously, I'm pretty sure everybody that's a business person has read this at least once. All right. Got to get this one. All right. Here's another one that a lot of people talk about. So it's a must read too. Think and Grow Rich. All right. Now, a little bit more advanced, um, something that you don't hear people talking about, but this is a really great book. And actually, somebody came up and shouted me out Friday, uh, thanking me for recommending this book. I think a few people. Made in America, Sam Walton. All right, great book. All right, great book. Not popular like you think and Grow Rich and Rich Dad, but the way Sam Walton started this business and scaled it to what you know today as Walmart, a lot of the supply and demand stuff that I talk about, a lot of that I got from this book. Just, understanding how to capitalize running a business, I got it from this book. All right, this is a must read. Like out of all the books that I recommend, this is the best one. Well, it's a different. It's between these two. These are my two favorite books. Between Made in America, Sam Walton, and the 4 Hour Work Week. The 4 Hour Work Week, um, now, it's how I think now. This is the mindset that I think now. Once I read this book, a buddy recommended me this book about 7 years ago. They don't even make it in this hardcover, I don't think anymore. Um, this changed my mindset from thinking like, because he said, man, you think like an old mob boss. You got to start thinking like into the future, like how long are you gonna continue to come up with ideas of business ideas where that you got to rely on people. You got to see the way the world is going. There's ways to make money without relying on people. And he told me this before the pandemic, like 2018, and recommended me this book. You know what I'm saying? This is a great book. A lot of people want to start businesses and don't want to be there thinking they can invest in a business and how these streams of revenue and never ran a business before and shit like that. One, I think you need to run a business in the physical form before you can start a business as a multiple stream of revenue type thing. If you've never ran a business and haven't physically been involved and entrenched in the business, starting a business from a career as an additional stream of revenue, I think this is why a lot of people fail. But this is going to put you in a mind space of getting out of the rat race, right, and outsourcing. All right. So this book by Tim Ferriss, um, I think a lot of people should read. There's other books, but these are the books that I recommend. And then this may not be a book that a lot of people may know. Costas may know this one, but uh, this this book, it always puts me in the frame of running a business really really tough. You know what I'm saying? So kind of like standing on business, and that's Boss. All right. Some of you guys may not understand this book, and I'm not really recommending it to everybody. I know Costas probably is familiar uh, with this book, but this is Old Man Daly's book and how he ran the city way back in the 50s and how he stood on business, how he organized people, how he, was able to keep everybody in line by making sure everybody was taken care of. And I always did that in business. I made sure everybody was taken care of. I knew every employee's birthday. I knew I knew people's kids' birthdays, shit like that. I made sure everybody was taken care of. I made sure everybody got a piece of the pie. I made sure everybody was happy. Even if people didn't like me personally, I was an asshole. I made sure I took care of every single body. And this book, even though it's like, political, um, you still can get some business information out of this and kind of apply it to uh, your everyday life. So this is one of the best books I've ever read by far. I got recommended this book many, many moons ago by my mother. She had to write a paper in college back in the 70s on this book. And when I finally did pick it up and read it, it's one of the best books I've ever read in my life. Just outside the fact of the history from the city, it just the way he ran the city and organized the city and just controlled shit. You know, down to all the contracts, down to changing the format. Like, yo, if you don't live in the city, you can't work from the city. So, dope book. I got plenty of other books too, but I think these are some of the best books to kind of put you in the mind frame of business from different perspectives. So yeah. Oh, Costas, you read it? You read it, boss? Man, that's listen, boss. Great book, man. Great book. The Iceberg Slim book. Damn, you finna make me go get that too? Hey, some people ain't gonna understand this, but it's a great book. This is a great book. All right, you go pick up you some gems in this book. You see what I'm saying? You gonna pick up you some gems in this book. Um, Good book. All right. Uh, you said not a business book. Me, I look at Boss as good history on the city, but I could implement a lot of that stuff that I took out of that book for business. The organization, just even the simple fact of just organizing it to keeping the money in the city, keeping the money in house. Why let people come work in the city and don't live in the city? Nah, keep the money in house. I think that was a good business move on Old Man Daily to keep that money regenerating back in the city. That was to me, that was a business move. Um about the millennials. I think you should have an open panel about the millennials don't want to work. Everyone should call it. Listen, every time I do one of those generational live streams, it's just uh it's just like it seems I guess some people feel like I'm just shitting on the young people, but I'm really not. I'm trying to motivate them to get up, get out and do something. Because what they don't understand is they keep chasing these Mr. Beast dreams. Now in 10 years, they're gonna be in their 30s, and then they're gonna be faced with the harsh reality. All right, we bullshitted, we didn't turn into Mr. Beast. We're not Jake Paul. We got to go out and work. And then you're gonna have a bunch of people trying to get into the work field in their 30s that didn't try to get in their 20s, and a lot of those jobs are gonna be non-existent, and it's just gonna be a fleet of people trying to work, and there ain't gonna be that much opportunity. That's personally what I think. I think if a person is Generation Z now and they in their mid-20s or whatever, mid-20s to late 20s, if they get in and start working now, 10 years from now, they're gonna be way more advanced than the ones that are running around here trying to get a box truck thinking they're gonna get rich quick overnight, or trying to be the next Mr. Beast, or trying to be the next Jake Paul or Logan Paul, or trying to be the next, whatever, goddamn, uh, Kylie Jenner with they drop ship makeup line that they getting off Alibaba and all this goofy shit. It's not gonna work for everybody. Or the next influencer. Everybody wants to be influencer. Look at all these chicks taking pictures on Instagram that's getting bookings and all this shit flying across, getting bookings all across, man. Like, that shit only gonna last for so long. Them ass shots is gonna eventually wear off. That shit gonna start sagging. You dig what I'm saying? Like, they ain't gonna be as pretty in the face no more, because they're gonna be worn out from partying, snorting coke and shit all fucking day and all fucking night. And then eventually they're gonna have to go out and go work. Look, somebody sent me some shit from the one of my homies sent me something. So during the MySpace era, it was this Video Vix. She was not Video Vix. She was one of the early internet influencer chicks. Her name was Cubana Lust. Like, World Star used to promote her heavy. I think Q from World Star was managing her, but she was one of the early uh social media influencers. This is before Instagram. Instagram didn't come out till like 2012, 2013. So she was heavy on MySpace. You would see a little World Star little videos and shit named Cubana Lust. She a dope fiend now. She off that Flocko. She off that Flock out in Florida. If I show you a before and after, matter of fact, hold on. Y'all think I'm tweaking. Like, she was one of the coldest chicks during the MySpace era. Hold on. Let me see if I can find a before and after. All right, here we go. This is her right here. So this is like during the 2000s. Obviously, this is her. So let's watch.
Warning, 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 warning. The Drama King is in.
You know what I'm saying? Like, them videos was classic.
So this is her.
So now, I know it evolved and it grew and everything, and now you're not there no more. So how do you feel about not being there, or why aren't you there? Like, this is new to me.
What happened?
Because they had me twerking for too long, and I felt like it's time for me to venture off into my.
Okay, well, they don't really show her body on this, but trust me, she bodied up.
Warning, 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 warning. The Drama King.
She had it back then. All right. But that's her then. Hold on. Where's she? Cubana Lust. And this is her now.
Oh, you have to put it on.
Oh, I
That's
don't
her
want.
now.
You don't want to wear the short sleeve? It's hot outside.
No, I rather I don't want to get abducted.
Let me place you into police custody, okay?
Yes.
You're aware of that?
Yeah.
All right, please turn around.
So she went from that and that and that. I mean, I wish I could find something of a body. Let's see, Cubana Lust on DJ Screen 13 years ago.
It's Jasmine practice every day till I got it right, and then I had the confidence and the bravery to do it on stage in front of people, and then I got used to it.
Like 07, 08. But the point is, she's a clucker now. She a clucker now. So that shit only gonna take you so far, So even to the women, like, if you start something now, you really start working towards it. In 10 years, when your generation really gets their shit together and they forced to have to go out, man, you'll be all the way so far ahead. Those people are gonna end up having to work for you. So take the information, do what it is you may. Let me see. So that's why those millennial generation conversations I don't try to have them too often, but not to say I won't do one again, but I will. If I can recommend one that I just read and listened to on the audio, is Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. Okay, I'll check that one out. Crazy how that book was made in the 30s and applies now. I Got a Low Roof Working okay, blah, blah, blah. Market analysis. Hey, Tony, you gotta look at the live stream. I think it's in the members only for a business plan, and then they'll talk about the market analysis. Or, yeah, I think you got to be a member for that one too. I got a whole live stream on setting up a market analysis. So the content is there. You got to go dig for it though. 4-Hour Work Week, great book. Reading it now, great recommendation. Appreciate you. I read that one. You said you will call to explain. Yeah, okay. Maybe next time, right? Thank you. We all could use the knowledge. Appreciate you. Mr. Daly is that boss. Definitely was the boss. LLI, okay, I feel you. This generation will understand. More leadership mentality. Definitely. If you're talking about boss, definitely leadership. That's probably I probably misworded it. Definitely leadership mentality book. Obviously I read this book way after I was already successful, but once I read it, it made me turn up even more. I think this turned up my cutthroat. This book turned up my cutthroat. It turned up my cutthroat. It not my cutthroat, it turned up my ruthlessness. That book turned up my ruthlessness. It turned it up. You said this book will teach you how not to trick your business profits. I agree. You said Iceberg Slim was on point. Yeah, Iceberg Slim was a good book. Very good book. Cash Money owns that book now. Cash Money ended up buying the rights to it. Yeah, Cash Money ended up buying the rights to that book. Chicago Daily Foundational Stuff and what it took for him to get to where. That's what makes it a good book. It's kind of like a rags to riches story from a bottom to the top. So, I mean, even if you're not from Chicago, you're not really concerned about the Chicago history, I think it's still a good inspirational, motivational book, and a good rags to riches leadership type story. How about a live stream where everyone can brainstorm and share ideas on how to improve business? I'll do it. I don't mind doing it. It's just, man, if I do something like that, people gotta chime in. People gotta hit the link and call up. I ain't got no problem. Jane Sanders said she looked bad now. She look horrible now. But she's not the only one that fell off. A lot of these chicks fall off. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Mark, when will you choose another group of members for a locked door? What do you mean a locked door? What's that? Another group of members for what? Fact, she went all the way down. Yeah, she got bad. Yeah, I heard she on that flock. Well, she told the police in that one video when they arrested her that she was on that Flocko or whatever that shit called down there. I think they got that in Florida. Flocka. What's that? Yeah, Flocka. That's what it's called. You said book makes you want to be a beast? Definitely. Thanks for not my Mark. Looking forward to the next one. Appreciate you. All right, y'all. On that note, I gotta go because I got some shit I gotta do. I need to go get prepared for it. All right. So until the next one, y'all. I'm out. Peace.